Shalom, shalom. Giving all honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shai. Battle Axes of the Most High. Coming to you on the Wednesday class to get edified in the Most High God's name. The name of the class is called R.E.S.P.E.C.T. Respect. Just looking at the nation, the state of the nation, man. Respect among our nation, among the society, even to the point that, just looking on the day-to-day. Y'all just think about when you be at your job. I was just sitting around just listening yesterday. I did this a couple days ago, but yesterday it kind of stuck out a little bit more than others. When people talk, the respect level of people and how they do, guess what? A person ain't gonna let you even get the whole thing out. They get to the point when I can be like talking here. Man, I was reading the book of Habakkuk. Oh, you was reading the book of Habakkuk? Like, yeah. Well, yeah, let me tell you what I'm saying. Well, I was reading the book of Habakkuk, man, and I started doing this. So what they saying? I said, brother, well, let me finish saying what I'm saying. It's like the respect level, like people won't even let you get a whole sentence out, man. Just a simple thing, man. And I know a lot of time how the world goes, like the scripture tells us that the world gonna be waxing worse and worse. We see it because it's the end times. But we also see what? The things we must do, and the things that we must do to get ourselves in order with the Most High, right? Let's go to Luke chapter 11 and verse 33. So we'll start here. Luke chapter 11. Because the first and foremost, we got to start by thinking about arms and what arms do for, and what we can give to the Most High to show the Most High God that we love Him, right? The book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 33.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 11, and verse 33. No man, when he hath lighted a candle, put it in a secret place.
So guess what, man? So that's how the Most High God looking at us. He ain't lit our candle just to put us in some secret place, to not realize that we in the truth, to not really walk how He told us to walk, right? He said, no man, when he lighted a candle, he put it in a secret place. Man, read.
Neither under a bushel.
Neither under a bushel, right? Read.
But on a candlestick.
That's where you gonna put it in, so he can light the whole house up, man, or to light up the area that he needs to light up, right? Read.
That they which come in may see the light.
Because this is what we're supposed to be doing in this truth. The Lord put the light on us, so when people come in this door to see us, they should see light on everybody in the room. They shouldn't see no dark spaces in nobody. Any camp that you go to, people shouldn't go in nobody's camp and see a dark spot in their camp. This ain't designed for that. This truth is designed to be a light to the world, to be a light to Israel first, and guess what? And then to the other nations, because they got to know how to act too. They got to know that we gonna be God's chosen people, and they got to know that they're gonna have to serve. If we don't find out, we don't know the rules for ourselves. We don't find out the rules for ourselves in this Bible. How in the hell we supposed to? The Lord said we're gonna be judging angels. We're gonna be judging a lot of stuff, man. This is our practice right now to show the Lord that we're ready for the kingdom, man. And if we not getting ourselves ready for the kingdom, man, we're gonna get ourselves into trouble, right? Read on.
Verse 34. The light of the body is the eye.
So the light of the body is the eye. So the first time when somebody walk in the door, see anybody in, the first thing they see, they're gonna have their eyes open. Watch. Not guess what? And their eyes is going into understanding, right? Read.
Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light.
So guess what? When your eyes is single, that means your eyes is on one accord. Your whole body is full of light, right? Read.
But when thine eye is evil,
but when your eyes is evil, right? Read.
Thy body also is full of darkness.
So guess what? This is hey, he giving us a better understanding. Because guess what? If a brother and sister walk in the door and they see somebody out of order, and they see somebody, guess what? If just think about when somebody walk in the door, guess what they're gonna get? They're gonna get a person. Then this is how I'm gonna show y'all something how the captains think. Especially on how I think. New brother and sister walk in the door. Guess what? I'm gonna watch, see who gonna talk to him first. Guess what guess what else I'm gonna watch? Because it's gonna be two things gonna happen. The person that's full of light gonna go talk to him, and guess what else gonna happen? The person that's full of darkness gonna go talk to him. Both of them gonna go to him to see which one he gonna choose, man. But if this room was full of light, guess what? Both people that were full of light should have been up to talk to him, right? But guess what? That shows the people. It don't matter if you in this truth or not. Guess what? You folks, people, you got to watch people in fringes too, man. Because everybody wearing fringes ain't finna make it to the kingdom. And some people accept that shit, man. Excuse my language, but they accept it. Why try all this hard? Keeping the commandment and keeping the feast days and not really trying to strive for the kingdom.
For real.
What are we doing this for, man? Is we doing this for play? It's for show? We just open this Bible up. I could just do it on my own. Try to do it on your own then. It's not gonna work that good for you.
And the point is, shoot, even like I was going into, shoot, try it on your own and see the examples of brothers that's on their own out there. Right? Bug the hell out there. I'm talking about it's the examples is out there. A lot of times people want to meddle with that thing, and guess what? You can't recover from it. Go ahead,
and because that's the truth. And like I said, the eyes is what the body is. That's the first thing they're gonna do. They're gonna look and see. That's what that light is. Not just the light in the camp, but the light when you're out there in the world. When you go into your jobs, when you go into your doctor's appointments, to your children, schools, whatever the case may be. The eye is the body of this thing. Let's go to Job right quick. 11 and 12 in that. Because the eye is the body. That's the first thing they do. So the first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna look at you. They're gonna see, okay, that brother, that sister got something different about them, right? Mm-hmm. First thing they're gonna see that. But then what's the next thing?
This is the book of Job, chapter 12 and verse 11. Mm-hmm. Does not the ear try words, and the mouth taste his meat? So just like you use your mouth to taste for, it's the same way. Now the next step is what? The ears. They're gonna hear what you're saying now, right? So when you do be that true light, the first thing is the true light is doing is showing off. Like I said, so the first thing, the body of that light is the eye. That's the look. Now who are you perceived to be? Now if you're approachable, let me see if I can approach this brother. So you feel like you got something on. Feel like you got something on. Now, as your mouth try to meet, now the ears are gonna try the words. So the next step, guess what? Now they want to hear what you're saying, right? So you got to make sure that your light is what within your look, as well as your light is within your conversation. So the Most High said, let your speech be. If you don't have what to say, you don't have the right thing to say. You need to be quiet sometimes. But then you need to let your conversation be pure, right? That's just going into the next step. This step to this thing, like I can tell right now, is the first step with the eye, but the next step is trying with the ears. So it's like just like you eat meat, you know what I'm saying? For the taste of it. People gonna hear you out now for the understanding to see what you got. So you want to make sure that you're in line and order and line that thing up.
Be coming on that, man. Because this is how we gotta start thinking, man. This is how we gotta start thinking, man. Brother and sister walk in the door. Them, should I go rush towards his brother and give him some darkness, knowing I came in this Sabbath class out of the spirit? I'm gonna walk up there knowing I'm out the spirit. I'm gonna go and talk about everybody's big dog, man. That's out of the spirit, man. That's not God. You mess around, get yourself pulled. It's so many ways brothers and sisters get pulled out of the truth, man. It don't make no sense. All right. Let's go back to Luke chapter 11, man. Verse, what we at, 35.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 35. Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not dark.
Because this is the same thing Paul was talking about. Don't let your good be evil spoken of. It's going in one and the same, man. Because it can be easily. You done did good all this time. Now all of a sudden you got a spirit today and it done messed up everything you did. It messed up all the works you did, man. Because you out of the spirit today. It don't go away, man. Let's go to Philippians right quick, chapter 2. We're going to go back. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3.
This is the book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory.
Because guess what? The Lord said, let nothing. It ain't say half of the stuff. It said, let nothing be done through strife and vainglory. If it's strife or vainglory, no good, right? Read.
But in lowliness of mind.
Because guess what? This is how you should always want things to be low. Be in meekness, man, at all times, right? Read.
But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
So guess what? When a brother or sister should walk in this door, guess what? We should esteem brothers and sisters better than our own self. How you doing, brother? You doing all right? It's good to see you in class, man. What tribe you from, man? Was you born and raised here in Dallas, man? Make a good conversation with brothers and sisters, man. Try to uplift somebody, even on a day-to-day. Guess what, man? It's our job, even in our own household, that a brother should lead and guide his house, not as a line. Guess what? Brother should be leading and guide his house as a man of the Lord. Knowing that, guess what? Christ is your head, and he looking at everything you doing. Just like you watching your wife, he watching Christ watching you too. The more detailed you are with your wife, the more detailed he gonna be. Guess what, man? Just not least you be judged. He ain't no respect the person. We're gonna dive into that a little today too. We're gonna get into there, right? Read on now, verse 4.
Verse 4. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
Guess what, man? Because brothers and sisters can get caught up, man. You can mess around, get this covetous eye in this truth, man. Right? We want to make sure that we keep this lowliness of heart, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Yahushua.
Guess what? In this is the same thing that Yahushua thought the same way, right? This is the thing that Yahushua is thinking. Read that out.
Verse 5. Verse 6. Who being in the form of God.
Guess what? Just all of us in the form of God. But why? The Lord said he made us of the likeness of him. So we in the form of God, right? Read.
Thought it not robbery to be equal with God.
So in now situation, should we think ourselves to be equal with God by taking any situation in our hand the Lord told us to wait for? Brothers and sisters, get that. Brothers and sisters, get that.
Oh, God.
This is how we're supposed to be thinking. Guess what? We can't take God's place. When we try to take God's place, guess what? You'll find out that God is for real. Right? We'll find out real quick that God's for real, right? Go to Proverbs 11 right quick. This is why we stay ourselves grounded in the walk, because we don't want to get in trouble with our God, man. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 17.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 17. The merciful man does good to his own soul.
So guess what? When you're a merciful man, that's what the Lord said. A merciful man do good to his own soul. Right? Read.
But he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh.
But guess what, man? There's always a flip side to that, man. And I don't know if brothers and sisters, I don't know if y'all caught that. I don't know if y'all caught that or not. Read that again.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 17. The merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh.
What is that going to, Bill Kai?
That goes to, like, basically, whatever you reap, that's what you sow.
That's good. That's good observation. More than it, though. What you got, R.E.S.P.E.C.T?
It said like the merciful man do it good to his own soul, I guess, like having mercy like towards like other brothers or whatnot. But then he said when you're cruel to those brothers and sisters, you trouble your own flesh.
Ain't what we looking for here. Let's go get it right quick. Let's go to this is chapter 2. See it, brothers. We're going to read this. I'm going to ask the brothers that question again. Genesis chapter 2, verse 23.
Okay.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
Read.
She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man.
Read on.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife. And they shall be one flesh.
And they should be one flesh. Now let's go back and read Proverbs 11 and see what that means to brother. You got to make the scriptures talk, man. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 17.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 17. The merciful man doeth good to his own soul.
So what is that going into?
Okay, so basically, man and woman are like one flesh. So if you cruel to your wife, it's just like being cruel to yourself.
Other than loving yourself.
Guess what? Because guess what? A merciful man, you gonna always treat yourself good.
Right.
You gonna always treat yourself good, right? But read on.
But he that is cruel troubleth his own soul.
But he that's good,
Cruel.
shalaki, he trouble his own soul. What? Flesh, shalaki. What's that? That's that in Galatians.
Go ahead up.
That's like whatever you do, you're doing it to Christ. You know what I'm saying? That's how you trouble your own soul. That's what brings you up for judgment in the long run.
That's good, but that ain't what I'm looking for. That's I got you.
Yeah, but that's what Berakaya already said.
Watch this. Go to Ephesians. This is what this is going into. Make sure brothers write that down, precept upon precept, right? Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 28.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
Y'all see that? You'll be good to yourself. So guess what? You got to be good to her the same way how you do your own body. You got to do her the same way. Guess what? You take care of yourself. You got to take her the same way. There ain't no way around it, y'all. You see how the scriptures come together, right? Read it.
He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh.
Y'all see that? Right. No man hated his own flesh. I don't give a damn how ugly he is. Guess what? He still think he look good. He just don't care how ugly he is. Ooh, I'm gonna kill him with this. Yeah. He still gonna think he look good. I don't care how ugly she thinks she is. I don't care how ugly she is. She still think she look good. Right? Read.
But nourish and cherish it, even as the Lord the church.
So guess what? You're going to love your own self. You're going to love and cherish your wife. Ephesians 5 and we started at verse 28. Now he just read 29. Read on up.
Verse 30. But we are members of his body.
Read.
Of his flesh.
Read.
And of his bones.
Because this is going into Christ. Because guess what, man? That's why God said that what God put together, let no man put asunder. Because it's in agreement with the Most High God, with the Father. That's why no man should be able to take and bring in end a marriage. We can't end no marriage. Guess what? Brothers and sisters can separate for a time, but it's no ending of marriage. Unless blessed for what?
Fornication.
Adultery or fornication, right?
But then guess what? It's even a process to work to reconcile that thing.
That's
you
right.
have to literally be working at that thing. Go ahead up.
All right. Verse 31.
Verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother.
Now, ain't this the same thing Genesis chapter 2, verse 23 is saying? It's going one in the same. It's just giving us a better understanding of what this is going into, right? Read.
And shall be joined unto his wife. And they two shall be one flesh.
So it should be one flesh. So when we're reading Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 17, this is how you break it down. Go to Genesis 2:23, come over to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 28, 29, 30, 31. This explains, right? Let's go back to Luke. Go back to Luke chapter 11 and verse 36.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 36. If thy whole body, therefore, be full of light, having no part dark,
Read.
the whole shall be full of light.
Man, look. This is what we working toward, to have a congregation full of light, man.
That's right. No dark parts.
No dark parts, man. I'm talking about brothers, captains, literally, diligently, all night long. If it ain't in the night, it's in the day. Guess what? Searching the scriptures, trying to help think of ways to build brothers and sisters up, trying to keep brothers and sisters in the right spirit, man.
Trying to make sure the dark spots we see, like we say, brothers do their best to try to cast them out, man. Constantly watching out for dark spots. You know, we got some light, but guess what? We also got some dark spots. Brothers and sisters know if they may be a dark spot. And just be sitting back, don't say nothing. They're gonna try to correct it. It's just playing the games.
See, because that's how Moses, like I was going into the what's that, Monday class. That's how Moses got tired, man. He got tired. Why? And that's why he had to point different people over different stuff, because it was so much stuff going on, man. Moses sitting right there, man, and he's like, bring everything to me, man. He just getting wore out, man. Guess what, man? You would think, look at the world and how the Most High God working all around us, making all these entertainers, everybody that was supposed to be all these famous people. He making all these famous people tell the world who he is. And guess what? Some people reject it, but some people is hearing it, man. Right? And after he making all these people hear it, and on the Lord working on his end, only thing we got to do is keep the damn commandments, man. That's all he asking us to do. He said, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to destroy in front of y'all. And we see what the Lord, I'm talking about, it's so plain what the Lord doing. But a lot of people, it ain't plain to some brothers and sisters because they can't see the vision of what God doing. But if you got the vision of seeing what God doing, if you just you just cut on your phone. I know people Facebooking the hell out of this phone, man, and Instagram the hell out of this phone. Just look on and see what, you can just look at it and see what the Lord doing. That should give brother an inkling of, shit, I need to stay in the spirit. Right? Let's read on up.
Verse 36 again from the top. If thy whole body therefore be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the bright shining of a candle doth give thee light.
Read.
Verse 37. And as he spake, a certain Pharisee besought him to dine with him. And he went in and sat down to meat. And when the Pharisee saw it, he marveled that he had not first washed before dinner.
So guess what? All this understanding that Christ was just giving them, he want to talk about this man just finding fault. Forgot the whole message, what the word of God just said, just to find a fault. And this is the lot that we be looking at, man. Everybody, guess what? It's just like class after class come out. It's like counsel after counsel come out, precept after precept come out, and guess what? Brothers and sisters find a fault to do something. Well, I heard this. I know that what I'm going to say. I know he heard this about 7 years ago. And I understand it now. It said and I think I said it before too. It said we can go 1 week. You got one brother and sister getting out of spirit. Everybody in the congregation in order. 1 week, I walk around with my right shoe off for a month. Yeah. I can't do it. Because guess what? Brothers and sisters, they get their spirit on them. Here you go. Loop-de-loop. Right? After all this, what Christ is getting them, telling them, let your light shine. Don't walk in darkness. trying to inspire us to keep to do God's will. Oh man, you ain't wash your hands. God dang. That's what you seen, brother? That's how you feel? Because now they let you know a person is in the emotions. Right? And not in the spirit. Right? But read on.
Verse 39.
This is how Christ talked to him, but watch this.
And the Lord said unto him, now do ye Pharisees make clean the outside of the cup and the platter?
He said, you clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but read on.
But your inward part is full of ravening and wickedness.
So guess what? Yeah, you got your fringes on. It look real good. But the inside of you, what they say, shalom. Shalom the hell out of you. Boy, you get in the car, boy, you be, boy, I'm talking about. Boy, I'm trying to tell you. You in there battling like a bug. Bro, you gotta start thinking, man. We gotta start thinking. Because you think a lot of times, like the action that we got, we really don't think that the Lord really looking. We really don't, because we've been taught all our life that, you know, it'll be all right. He gonna forgive me. What if the Lord don't want to forgive me for this one? What if we don't? Guess what? You don't want to make your grace run out. What if it's the time, just like Saul, like we run into the occasion because you got so many different witnesses, just like Saul, and the Lord said, I'm not dealing with you no more, right? Saul went in with to try to entreat for the Lord, but the Lord was not dealing with him, man. So he started going into what? All kind of stuff. So that's why we see brothers when they leave about it sometimes, guess what? The Lord don't be dealing with them no more. And guess what happened? They go into all kind of stuff because they want to seek the Lord again. They want to get that same feeling back again. And they ain't going to come back around no more for them. No. They're going to get further and further down the line. Why? It ain't because of brother and sister action. Because, okay, now a person in here pull your ass out of the truth. You going to pull you out of the truth. Now a person can pull you out of the truth. You are going to pull you out of the truth through your actions. Guess what? If your wife, or say if my wife called me bitch ass nigga, do that make me feel like I'm that just because she say that? Guess what? If I call her a B, does that make her feel like she a B because she said that? Because guess what? You hold your peace. Guess who's gonna fight though? Yeah, he said that, but guess who? Like, dang, I can't believe you said that. Now he gonna come back and apologize. Guess what? Because he feel like God finna do something. Because guess what? Because God knocking at the door like, yeah, nigga, I am finna do something to you. Right? And he looking at her like, guess what? I am going to do something to her. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do something to her. She said, what? Oh, yeah, she apologized. Yeah. Watch this. Watch this. Let's go to John right quick. See if I can find it. Let's see if God going to hear it. John chapter 3. And start at verse 18. 1 John chapter 3, 18. Salah. Go kill on the grave.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 18.
Truth. This is how we're supposed to love. In deed and in truth. Because Esau taught us to love in words. Like Maccabee said. Do I love my car like I love? Right? Read.
Verse 19. And hereby we know that we are of the truth.
We know that we of the truth. Why?
And shall assure our hearts before him.
Because we're going to assure our hearts before God, right? But read on.
Verse 20. For if our heart condemn us.
Okay. Guess what? You just call her what? Now your heart condemning you. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Because your heart condemning you now, right? Read on.
God is greater than our heart.
Guess who's greater than your heart? This heart, guess what? This in your mind that you thinking about, that stuff that's in your mind, can't nobody hear. Guess what? The stuff that you battling in your mind, you ain't telling nobody about none of this. But it's in your mind, you battling. Whatever's in your mind. God greater than it. But we don't think God greater than it because we brute beasts by nature, right? But we don't.
And knoweth all things.
Because guess what? God knoweth all these things. That's why you want to come back and apologize. Because guess what? It's something that gets in your mind or in your heart or in your mind, it gets into you like, dang, you know you did that the wrong way. What gets in you to tell you that? God get that spirit to put in you, say, no, you did that the wrong way. So it makes you to go back to do what? To apologize. So it lets you know who's in control. God, he knows all things. You don't know all things. He knows all things. Because if you did know all things, you wouldn't do the things that you do. Right? Read on.
Verse 21, beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence toward God.
So if our hearts don't condemn us, will we have confidence towards God? Will we have the same confidence if our hearts don't condemn us? Guess what? But a lot of us, we walk with the Most High God, knowing that the heart supposed to condemn us. And you will hope your heart be condemning you. Because if you don't, you ain't going to have the same confidence toward God, right? This is how we got to start thinking, right? Let's go back, man. The Luke chapter 11. Luke chapter 11. And verse over here. 40.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 40.
Read.
Ye fools, did not he that made that which is without make that which is within also?
So guess what, man? He's saying just like the Pharisees washed the outside of the cup and the inside, wash the outside of the cup and then wash the inside. Guess what? Christ said, man, the Most High God made the inside and the outside of it. So what's ever in you, God made you, and what's out of you, God made you too. Right? Read.
But rather give alms of such things as ye have. And behold, all things are clean unto you.
So why did Christ tell us to give alms? Let's take a stab at it. Why Christ told us to give alms in this aspect? Because he bringing out that heavy stuff on him, man. Because he said, but rather give alms of such things as ye have, and behold, all things are clean unto you. That's a heavy thing Christ saying, man. Right? That's pretty heavy. Why did Christ say to give alms? Right? Why did he say give alms? Wasn't gonna take no stab at it, man. Come on with it, you good.
Better to be a blessing than to be blessed.
That's good. But we want precept.
Sure.
Dang. That's the reason why the arm's been so low. My bad.
I don't know.
No precept there. Yeah, dang. That's why the arm's been so low, huh?
I thought about Sirach chapter 35 verse 1.
35:1.
So going into verse 2.
Sacrifice yourself.
Right.
Let's go to Sirach chapter 3 right quick. Good. See if we have maybe we can find out of Sirach. Sirach chapter 3, verse 30.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 30.
Verse 29.
Verse 29. The heart of the prudent will understand a parable. And an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man.
So guess what? This is how you can understand. Brothers start understanding scriptures better when they start reading parables, and parables start coming to life. They start reading these parables. This is how brothers. This is the difference between the unlearned brother and the learned brother. When you start to understand parables and be able to break it down precept upon precept, right? Read
verse 30. Water will quench.
Y'all know water quench fire, right? We'll put out a fire. Read on.
And alms make it an atonement for sin.
So this is the reason why Christ's saying what he's saying, because alms make a what? Atonement for sin. The work that guess what? Hey, the alms that you can give to the Most High God, right? All these things will go one in the same. This is why Christ's saying these things. Sirach chapter 7 and verse 10, man. This is why Christ's saying these things, man. Verse 9.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 9. Say not, God will look upon the multitude of my oblation. And when I offer to the Most High God, he will accept it.
So don't just look at, well, man, I know I did no work. The Lord gonna look upon me and I'm gonna do it. No, don't look at it like that. You better clean the inside of that cup too, man. Right? Read on.
Be not faint-hearted when thou makest thy prayer, and neglect not to give alms.
So this is why Christ's saying these things. Because guess what? Whatever the prophets say, he got to take what the prophets say too. The Lord put it in him to say it, to talk like this, man. This is how Christ said. He told us not to neglect to give alms, man. Because this is part of our walk, man. Whatever we doing, hey, this is part of our walk all the way, right?
That's right. Because even going into that on a deeper level, it goes into Big 10. Loving your brother as you love yourself. It covers a lot of those things because alms is not just to take care of the Lord's house and for us to have a house to congregate. It's also for when brothers and sisters get down on hard terms. That's what those things is for. And a lot of times, brothers and sisters have to understand those things. I ain't getting nigga nothing. I ain't getting SHIT, man. Nigga. They be all right. I mean, you can't have that type of mindset. Because next thing, hey, it might be you in the doghouse. You know what I'm saying? Then hey, you know what I'm saying? Scratching this.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. We know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, so like a lot of times we have to think about those things as well, man. Go ahead, huh?
You got another precept. Go to 1 Peter 4. Showing that love towards one another, that will cover a multitude of sins, man. That's what they do.
Because I know Christian apologetics, they try to use it as, oh, you trying to buy your way into the kingdom. Come on, man. With an understanding, you want to make sure you get a good understanding. What you want to?
1 Peter 4 and 8.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4 and verse 8. Mm-hmm. And above all things, have fervent charity.
So this charity is going into the same thing. We can put these in the same. Charity for one another, love for one another, right? The alms that we do. Alms is just not going into money, man. It's going into like helping the brothers in need, man. Right? Putting in work for the congregation, for the nation. Have fervent charity. I mean, the utmost charity or love or doing ability that you can for your brother, your fellow sister, you know.
Among yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Among yourselves, amongst the nation, you know.
For charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
That's why you say do that. And just give alms, because that's going to help a lot, right? If you do that, then like I said, then basically you're keeping the commandments too, right? You know, like when you go into Mark 12, on these two to hang all along, right? What are those two? Love your neighbor like you love yourself and love right. If you're doing those two, you're basically keeping. You got love, you got that charity in your heart, right? You're keeping the commandment. You know, love is the commandment keeping, right? So that's what it's saying. This is how you clean yourself from the inside out, not the outside in, right? Because that's true. If you do something for somebody, then you can't do it with what, like thinking that this going to do something for you. Oh well, I'm doing this, man. Surely I can get something back in return for this, right? How you do it with the ability to give charity? That's what charity. That's why this word is charity, right? I mean, you're doing it not for return. Not for your own gain. You're doing it just to be what? A fellow brother or sister that helps and want to help, right? For the Most High God. So that covers a multitude of sins. Right. So we definitely want to get that be that arm giver or that charity giver, right? Go ahead.
Big con on this, man. Let's go to Sirach 17 and 22.
Go ahead, man.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 22. The alms of a man is as a signet with him, and he will keep the good deeds of a man as the apple of the eye.
So this is how the Lord, this is a signet. This shows what type of person you are, man. By the alms you give, by the work you put in for the Most High God. This shows what type of man you are, man, in this truth, right? Read on.
And give repentance to his sons and daughters.
Because that's what we're trying to do. That's why the Lord, this right here, to home in what Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19 saying, man. So you and your children may live. Because these things don't just go for you, they go for you and your children, man. We want to always try, like you say, get ourselves in order with the Most High, right? Sirach 31 and 11. Like I say, these aren't precepts, man. You just think brothers and sisters should know these mugs, man, but you know, that's why I say that's how the arms get a little low. People forget what the arms mean like that. You know? I mean, if there's shot fired, then I guess. Sirach, I mean, you got 20, 30 people here on Wednesday club. On the Sabbath, you got Dine-In 100, and everybody eating shit. Like damn, how much you get? Look at it. I see it's about 100 people in this club. I said, damn.
Well, for real.
Yeah, $45.
So,
Meal cost meal cost 50 cents a piece in this mug.
Happy meal.
That's still they ain't did nothing for the lights, internet. I'm just throwing it out there, man. I mean, what this thing is. But this is how we got the home in what things is, man, right? Got to make it plain, man, to the brothers and sisters, man, right? Read that, man. Sirach 31 and 11.
this is the book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 11.
I gotta go up on there. I'm like, man. He got me stuck on that move, man. Hey, it is what it is, man. Start at verse 7, man. I need to give some more. I need some context on it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 7.
And you can turn that 11 to 2 0 to a 0 and put a 7 beside, man. Yeah. Read this.
It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith.
Read.
Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and had not gone after gold.
So guess what? This is talking about. This is talking about, the root of all evil, which is what, money. Because guess what? It became a stumbling block to brothers and sisters. Why? Because guess what? Every brothers and sisters, they forgot about our God. They want to get a bag over our God. No. And guess what, man? And in hell, where they lift their eyes up to. Right? And read on.
Verse 9. Who is he? And we will call him blessed.
And who is him? The person that is rich. The person that's rich in the scriptures, man. Person that's seeking after the Most High God, right? Everybody around them will call them blessed, right? Read.
For wonderful things had he done among his people.
So it said, wonderful thing had he done among his people, man. Read.
Who had been tried thereby. And found perfect.
This is going into Christ, but guess what, man? We gotta start walking like this, though, right? Read.
And let him glory, who might offend, and had not offended.
And he said, you see, y'all see how it, y'all see how it work? People offend you, but you don't offend them back. Let that person glory in that person did a good job, man. Man, I know, man. Because everybody, you know how people be saying, man, boy, that was me, boy, they pulled me out of spirit. Boy, you did a good job on that. Because guess what? You couldn't get pulled out of spirit anymore, right?
That's right.
Read on.
Who might offend and had not offended.
And guess what? They offended you, but you ain't offended them back. Read.
Or done evil and had not done it.
Guess what? And they done evil to you, but you ain't do it back. Right? Read.
His good shall be established.
The Lord said, all your good's gonna be established, man. Read.
And the congregation shall declare his own.
And the congregation gonna declare his own, man. Let's give you an example of that. What's the name? What's sister? Sister Dorcas. Acts chapter 9. Acts chapter 9. Verse 36. Sister Dorcas, man. This is going to one of our mighty sisters, Sister Dorcas, man. Right? She did many wonderful work, man. One of our foremothers, right? Acts chapter 9, verse 36, man.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 9, and verse 36. Now, therefore, at Joppa, a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas.
This is our foremother, Dorcas, man. She was a disciple of the Lord. I mean, she was doing good works of the Most High God. It'll tell you. Read on.
This woman was full of good works.
She was full of good works, read.
And alms deeds, which she did.
And she did plenty. And this is why we're talking about giving a good example. This is a good example, man. How a person giving themselves to the Most High, right? Read.
Verse 37. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died. Whom when she had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And for as much as Lydia was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there.
So read on.
They sent unto him 2 men.
Read.
Desiring him that he would not delay to come to them.
So Dorcas died, right? But they just said she did good. She did good works in Israel, man. Right? But the people, they loved Dorcas, man, because the good armed deeds she did for Israel and the good works, man. So Sister Lydia, she seen that Peter was there. She's like, man, I need to go talk. We need to go get Peter here, man. Dorcas done died. We need to come up with something, man. Right? But it's gonna show you what they came up with. Read on.
Verse 39. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber. And all the windows stood by him, weeping, and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made, while she was with them.
So all the widows, they was mourning because Dorcas died, and they started showing all the good garments, all the coats that Dorcas was making for Israel, right? Read.
But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed.
Read.
And turning him to the body, said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes. And when she saw Peter, she sat up.
So guess what? Peter, man, guess what? Prayed to the Most High. The Most High brought her back to life, man. Because of the good work and good arms that sister was putting in, man. This ain't no joke, man. Boy, I'm talking about, I don't know how heavy brothers and sisters, they have y'all imagination on how y'all think about this Bible, man, but that's pretty tough, man.
That's right, man.
She laying there dead, man. And the people loved her so much to the point they gave a good report to Peter, say, hey, man, we need this woman around a little longer, man. She did a good job for Israel, man. Guess what? The Most High God granted her to open her eyes up, man. Read on. Read.
And this is something even for sisters, like we always say. I know we hear a lot of times retarded people. They don't go into enough women's scriptures. When we do, nigga, where y'all at? I'm talking about we literally going into one right now, giving you an example on a sister. Now we understand that the Bible is written in a masculine form, but this is giving sisters the understanding for the work that sisters are supposed to be doing. So whether or not sisters may fall ill, sister may fall on financial terms, if you're doing good works of the Lord, the Most High God can heal that thing. You know, sisters got to take this as an example.
That's right. Go your Titus 2 class for the night right there.
For real.
Add that to your Titus 2.
That's something to meditate on. Doing the good works is not always just about the money. It's about the work that you put in. Sisters know what's required of them, and it's true. Hey, you have to take that thing to the fullest, man. Because like we said, you're not doing it for... Oh, you are doing it for the congregation, but ultimately you're doing it for the Most High, and not to just be seen amongst women. Let me show the captain that look like I'm doing something. I ain't doing a damn thing. Like, do it because you sincerely want to do it.
That's right, man.
And to want to please the Lord. Go ahead,
Be coming, man. Let's read on now. Verse
41.
41.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 9, and verse 41. And he gave her her hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa. And many believed in the Lord.
So guess what, man? When brothers and sisters doing their good arms work, guess what, man? And you put and you present yourself and you make your body living sacrifice. Brothers and people, man, you look here, man. That's putting a light in front of the world, man. Showing the people of Israel, like, dang, man, that brother was doing a good deed, man. But you know what? A lot of brothers and sisters, they don't believe the report of their leaders, camp leaders.